Welcome. What is up? Welcome to This Week in the Mixer, episode 6. Pre-All-Star break, post NBA Finals, intra Women's World Cup, and Gold Cup edition. Yes, we'll go with that as the title. Just wanted to check in. Got a few relevant sports things going on. A few things on my mind, a few things dominating the Mixer conversation that I know you guys want to hear my opinion on. So here I am, and we'll get into it. First off, I want to start with let's just give props to Kawhi for finishing out the season with the title, NBA Finals MVP. Gotta love anybody with San Diego roots going and winning elsewhere like they usually do. I know he's not from San Diego. I think he's from, I just looked this up. He's from like Anaheim or something. Either way, I know they want to build a statue of him at the Viejas Arena, if that's what it's still called. And yeah, I mean, this is what we do in San Diego. We build statues of players who go on and have success for their professional teams elsewhere. And we do things like putting Ted Williams in the Padres Hall of Fame, even though he never played for the Padres. But we gotta take what we can get. So here I am taking what we're getting. Congrats to Kawhi. It'll be that much sweeter when he plays for the Clippers, another team that left San Diego for, not so much greatness elsewhere. But I mean, if he does end up on the Clippers, it'll be a fun team to watch, and I'm looking forward to it. That would be a sweet jersey. Moving on from basketball, want to talk a little soccer. We got two tournaments going on. We got international tournaments. We got Women's World Cup and the Gold Cup. Suppose we should talk about the Women's World Cup first. Ladies are doing well. We all saw the fallout of that 13-0 thrashing against Thailand, and there was some controversy regarding the players celebrating goals and all that business. It doesn't look good with them. With a team that's won, how many World Cups have they won? 3? I know they've won at least 2, but I think it's 3. The U.S. has, and at least 2 or 3. And Thailand, I don't know if it's their first time there, but obviously they don't have the money behind their program like the U.S. does. I mean, even though the U.S. women aren't really getting paid what they deserve, which, might be another topic of conversation, they're getting more than these Thailand players are. However, I mean, shoot, I played in, co-ed rec leagues, and had the score run up on us a few times by teams that were playing in a division they had no business being in, and they were celebrating goals. They weren't holding back. So, I mean, when you're on the field, you get it. The optics, it doesn't look good. It doesn't feel good, but I think it was Rapinoe who came out and said afterwards that she hopes that, them thrashing Thailand will encourage their country to put more effort behind their program, which is, I mean, kind of weird. kind of a weird thing to say. I get what she's saying. It's just, I don't know. It's brutal. Like, I hope since we destroyed you and embarrassed you, that your country will do something about that. So, so you don't feel so embarrassed next time. Anyway, I get it. I didn't really have a problem with it, but I can understand why some people are upset with it. So that's why I'm kind of taking, this middling, uninteresting stance that I seem to do sometimes. But other than that, they kind of had their first test against Spain. I believe it was Monday in the round of 16, not the quarterfinal match that I thought it was, which all the other tournaments have. The Women's World Cup has this extra round compared to the Gold Cup and the Copa de Oro, the other cups that I'm kind of paying attention to right now. Me thinking that they qualified for the third place game, I was stoked. But in fact, they still, they're playing for a right to at least the third place game on Friday against France. But anyway, they had their first test against Spain. I didn't get to see much of the first half because the Fox Sports app doesn't work. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I need to update. Maybe I need to update my phone. I just thought about that. I mean, I have auto updates on, but it doesn't update if it's not plugged in between 1 and 5 in the morning or something, and I don't usually have my phone plugged in then. So maybe that's the problem. Maybe I'll get the stream to work Friday. That would be clutch. Now that I think about it, but yeah, I couldn't really tell why the U.S. was having problems. They did look a little gassed. I saw a lot of people posting on Twitter that they needed to bring subs on. And, I don't know. Spain wasn't supposed to be that good. And from what I saw, it's not like they were possessing the ball and keeping the ball away too much from the U.S. It's just, I don't know, the U.S. just seemed off a little bit in that game. So hopefully they knock that rust out, because France is no joke. Everybody, they're the host country. Everybody's saying that, this could have very well been the final if they ended up on opposite sides of the bracket. But they didn't. So we get this nasty quarterfinal matchup, and yeah, it should be a good game. I know France is pretty good on offense, if I remember from the last World Cup, watching a few of their games. I believe those games were on at a more reasonable time, and my app was working. So I remember being impressed with some of the French players. They are, the men's team did win the World Cup, so they're kind of riding that wave a little bit. They're hosting this World Cup, so I'm sure the French pride is high. They're not giving up in the first, in the group stage, like they kind of did in the last two World Wars. But what can you do? They were kind of on the front line and caught off guard. Anyway, so yeah, it's gonna be a good test. Hopefully that rust is gone, a little bit sharper. I'd like to see them get some of the younger girls in there. I know they keep going back to a lot of the vets, but But if they were kind of gassed in the last game, maybe they should go with a little bit different of a starting lineup. I'm not sure exactly the formation they run. I haven't really gotten to watch too many of the games, but I know like Kristen Press hasn't got that many minutes, and she's a good goal scorer. I'd like to see her in there more, and see if they can get on the board early. It's going to be tough. I think the women take it. I think it's going to be close. Might even go to PKs. That would be exciting. We'll see. I think that's what I'm going to predict. I'll predict a 1-1 tie at the end of regulation. They're both going to get a goal in extra time, and the U.S. is going to win. Let's say 6-5 in PKs. I think it's gonna be wild. How's that for a prediction? We'll see. Write it down. Moving on to the men, the lesser of the two national teams for the U.S. They've been doing pretty well in the Gold Cup. Surprised me a little bit. Their decline seems to coincide with me moving down to Mexico. I'm not saying that I have a direct effect, but I mean it's like all those things that Danny posts. You could say that they're correlated because look at their wins before I moved and then after I moved. So yeah, and then like me hinting that I'm moving back, and all of a sudden they're doing well. So, you're welcome, I guess. But yeah, they put up 7 against TNT. Revenge game from the game. When was it? It said 22 months ago in the article I just read, so I think it was October of 2017, probably about the time that PUBG dropped. The U.S., did we lose 1-0 or did we draw? I think we lost. 1-0 on a wet, terrible field. But anyway, today revenge was spelled USMNT. Well, in that game, I mean, they took them down 7-0. I was thinking the game was going to be something like 6-0 beforehand. I kind of pussed out and didn't say anything in the chat because I didn't want to jinx it. And I'm not the type of person that like makes up shit after the fact. So I figured if I came back and said like, I predicted the game internally that it'd be 6-0, that you guys would kind of just, take me at my word. I don't really make shit up, at least not knowingly. But I have been known to misremember shit from time to time, or get things wrong, definitely. But yeah, I'm not looking for, I'm not looking for cred on like fake takes. It's just, that'd be really freaking lame if I were that type of person, or if anybody were. But yeah, so they smashed TNT. They looked really good against Guyana. I think the final in that game was 4-0. Maybe it was just 3-0. But maybe I'm getting my scores wrong. I think it was here's what it was. It was 6-0 against TNT and 4-0 against Guyana, and I predicted 5-0 against Trinidad and Tobago. So that's a 1 goal difference. Anyway, doesn't matter. The U.S. is doing really well. They haven't really been tried on defense yet, which is and has been the weakness for the U.S. for a while. So we still don't really know what we got. with this new lineup, with a lot of the new players playing together for the first time. But I'm liking what I'm seeing. They're beating these teams that they should, and that hadn't been the case for years. It's been, I heard somewhere that they won the last Gold Cup in 2017, but I don't remember that, unless Mexico sent like a B team. I felt like, I know in 2015 Jamaica made it to the final against Mexico, and the U.S. just had a really shitty game against Jamaica and lost. And then, I guess maybe the U.S. won, and that's how they played. I don't know. But anyway, the U.S. has struggled against these CONCACAF teams, these shitty teams like Trinidad and Tobago, like Jamaica, like Panama that's coming up. Costa Rica is one of the better teams, but the U.S. is finally handling them like they should. I really like the way that Paul, Arriola, and Pulisic are working. Pulisic, Belinda mentioned that the announcer is saying his last name is Pulisic, and I say Pulisic, and I'm pretty sure I've heard it both ways, and now it's all in my head. So we're gonna go with Pulisic, since that's what the announcer says, and they're probably got more notes on that kind of shit than I do. But anyway, I like the way that he and Paul are working together. Paul, local guy, maybe he'll be another guy that we have a statue of in front of East Lake High, or Mater Dei High School in East Lake or Otay Ranch. Shout out to Neighborhood Boy. Hopefully that's where I'll be living soon. I like the way they work. I watched, I think it was a little segment on, I don't think it was ESPN. I can't remember what side it was, but they kind of rotate their positions just off of field. Pulisic plays central, or that's the way he's starting, and that's why he's supposed to be in the formation. But if he feels like going out to the wing, then Paul will come inside, and they just kind of keep rotating, and it's creating space, it's creating opportunities, and it does seem like they're pushing the ball a lot on that side of the field. So and trying to make shit happen. Paul is playing. I don't watch the MLS. I watched him with the Cholos when he was on their team, but he only started like half the games. He mostly did his damage coming off the bench, and it wasn't like he was creating a lot of opportunities. He just found himself in the right place at the right time in the games where I saw him making an impact. So, but seeing him in this cup, he's playing his ass off against these shitty teams, no doubt. But I'd actually argue that he's had a bigger impact than Pulisic has so far. It could be because defenders are queuing in on Pulisic in the center there, but yeah, pleasantly surprised by how he's doing. Similarly, Tyler Boyd has been another really good surprise. I remember hearing that the FIFA waiver went through on his transfer from New Zealand, and I looked him up real quick, but I was like, who's this guy? He plays for like a Turkish team, and he's on loan from, I think he's on loan from an Italian team or something like that. anyway, I hadn't heard of him, and I, just did basic research. Saw that he had like 5 goals in 23 games or something. I was like, you can't really get pumped for that. And then, his first couple minutes, like maybe the first third of the game against Guyana, he had a few chances and he missed them. And I was like, all right, well, who is this MLS guy that this new coach is trying to pimp out, and it keeps missing the goal. And then he turned it on the second half, had some good moments. I think he scored 2 goals. He scored 2 more against Trinidad. But on top of that, he's been giving defenders a tough time and looks to be pretty legit. He's made some nice passes. He's made some nice little runs. Definitely seems capable. It's more than we've seen out of Josie or Jazzy in years. Against these same teams. These are all the teams that play in the same World Cup qualifiers that knocked us out a few years ago. So it's not like these teams aren't playing for some pride. A Gold Cup final might be, or even semi-final, might be the best that they can hope for. So I imagine these other teams are taking it serious, and they're getting thrashed 6-0 and 4-0. So cautiously optimistic that this lineup that this coach has is found a little chemistry. Maybe, I know the guys were pissed off under Klinsmann, but I'm spacing on the last coach that took over. It seemed like they all liked him, but it didn't work out with him either. And I don't know, it just seemed like a lot of the players weren't really trying. See Michael Bradley, but he's doing great so far. Again, they haven't been challenged, so real test is still to come, to see what they can do against a team that is better at possessing the ball, because the midfield and the defense has been what's been really holding the team back for a while. So get a team that has the ball in those areas a little more, it might expose the team for what they really are. And looking ahead, they got the game against Panama tonight. I think they win. I think it's close. I think it'll be something like 2-1, 3-1. So they'll take the group. Then they'll play Curacao, who I guess, it's our first time getting out of the group stage of the Gold Cup. But they've been kind of on the up and up. I read they got some players with some skills, so they're not going to be a pushover. I expect them to put up more of a fight than Guyana and Trinidad and Tobago. But in the knockout round, I see the U.S. getting their shit together, taking care of that business, and I think that would put them up against either Jamaica or I don't think it's Honduras. I'm trying to think of who finished second in Mexico's group. So it wouldn't be Costa Rica, because I know Costa Rica's on the other side of the bracket. I don't know who's playing Jamaica, but not too threatening of a team. But it's looking like the U.S. has a pretty easy path to the final. Knock wood. and that would put them up against Mexico. But Mexico has looked, I mean, I've watched a lot of their games over the past few years, and they've been fun to watch. And they kind of have, like, they don't even have their best players. They have, I would say it's, you know, at best an A- team. I would say it's more like a B team, not even B plus. You know, they didn't bring Carlos Vela. I don't know if he's hurt. I think they only have one of the Dos Santoses. They didn't bring Tecatito. They didn't bring who's the other little guy? Chucky. I don't know any of their real names. I just know the nicknames. Chicharito's not there. Hector Herrera's not there. One of their main midfielders. So, you know, they have like, they're missing like 4 or 5 guys from the World Cup roster, just out of the people I know. And I mean, they're handling their business just as easily, if not easier, than the U.S. is in their group. They crushed Cuba 7-0. They cruised against, I can't remember who. This is the team that probably is in the U.S.'s bracket. Martinique, French Martinique. They beat them 3-0, and you know, the score could have been a lot higher. It could have been a lot higher in the Cuba game too. You know, that being said, the U.S. could have done the same. You know, can't count goals that don't go in the net, but I mean, they look pretty dangerous, especially for missing all the important players that they are. Yeah, I think they just have a really cohesive midfield. They move the ball. I mean, I watch a lot of shitty Liga MX games. Yeah, they're not that shitty, but I watch the Cholos, and there are some teams that they don't belong in there. It's sloppy as shit. You know, and I obviously watch a lot of Premier League games. You know, watch a lot of Champions League games. So I'm used to seeing what sloppy soccer looks like and comparing it to what, you know, European soccer looks like. And the Mexico team, they move the ball really well. It's easy. They're not really looking around for their passes too much. They just take a few touches, and then the ball's moved on to the next guy, and they just find space, and they can move the ball up and down the field pretty easily. In my estimation, it's coming to them more naturally than for the U.S. You know, the U.S. has a new coach and a lot of new players. That's to be expected. But I would have to say that the Mexico team is the favorite to win the World Cup. I don't know, barring any heroics, I think if the U.S. were to play the Mexico team, we'll say, I mean, in the U.S. or in Mexico, really, because, I mean, at best, at any stadium in the U.S., the crowd's going to be 50-50. Maybe not if it's in Columbus, but a lot of other places it will be. But yeah, I mean, if they were to play right now, I would say, based on what I've seen, you know, I think Mexico takes the game pretty easily. I'd say the gap between the U.S. and Mexico is is probably greater than the gap between the U.S. and Costa Rica right now. If those are the three best teams in CONCACAF. But I mean, the U.S. team is still young. You got a lot of these guys. It's their first time playing together. So I'm still cautiously optimistic. I'm not meaning this to be a shot at the U.S. It's just, they still got some work to do. These guys, they still gotta, I don't know, especially in the midfield, they gotta find some guys that can get the shit done. I think Weston McKennie, is he a Chelsea boy or is he a Tottenham boy? I know I think he's a Premier League guy. I think he's playing like kind of forward mid, so hopefully he's one of the guys. I saw another guy, I can't remember his name, but he was moving the ball pretty well. He had a shot. I don't think he scored in any of the games. But anyway, hopefully some of these new younger midfielders can start making some progress once they get these caps in, and yeah, hopefully it starts looking like a team. I'm tired of looking at all these tournament friendly lineups. I mean, I guess I understand with the friendlies, but it's seeing like 7 different names every single time. These guys, they got to play together to really make any progress. So I mean, I get it, but those are just my thoughts. Those are my hopes. So yeah, we'll see. I guess right now I'd have to say, U.S. versus Mexico final, Aria Cup Part 2. I think Mexico takes it, but the U.S. takes a bigger step forward towards towards where they need to go. So a moral victory, I suppose. Next up, what's on my mind? We kind of had a little discussion about college football player, or I guess just college athletes getting paid in California. The bill that was proposed or whatever. There were some opposition opinions in the Mixer thread. So I've always been a proponent. Well, actually, that's a lie. I haven't always been a proponent, but just hearing other people's opinions and thoughts on it, I really do feel that it's wrong that these organizations, these colleges, can make money, can make so much money off of these kids, and I think a lot of them are private. I guess they're considered private colleges, so their finances aren't made public, so we have no idea how much money they're making. I might just be talking out of my ass, but I feel like if that information were public, I would have heard the information, or that some stats and figures by now. So I assume that the NCAA is making an undisclosed number of billions of dollars off of these kids, and they're suspending these players for being gifted shoes by someone, or bullshit like that, running their own YouTube channels. I think these kids should get paid. I believe some of them already are getting like an allowance or something. It's not much, but it's better than nothing. And there's always colleges, boosters and shit that find their way around it right now. Anybody who thinks that lots of that these programs are, these coaches, the sports directors don't know anything about like boosters paying these kids like either after the fact or while they're in school. I mean, they're just naive. It's just a joke. It's, you know, people are gonna find their way around the rules, and I mean, even if you do start paying players and if you put a cap on it or something, there's still gonna be people who find ways around it. But you know, I'm in favor of something that allows these guys to be compensated for what they're doing. You know, on top of them getting a scholarship, you know, these schools, they have, you know, they don't have to offer scholarships to the athletes or have these sports programs, and I get that they, you know, increase school spirit, but they could be, you know, they could be scholarly, more academic scholarships, I suppose, if that's what they're after, kind of, I don't know, bettering society or some millennial bullshit like that. I would just like to see these players be able to get, you know, get a portion of what they're, you know, of the entertainment that they're providing, because, you know, a lot of these guys, they don't make the pros, and it's their only shot, and it's like, I mean, they should know going into it that, you know, there's no guarantee, and they should be focusing on getting some sort of degree so that their future is set. But I mean, a lot of these kids, I watch Last Chance U, they come, I mean, you know, they're not all Last Chance U kids, but you know, all their family situations aren't the same as those kids on Last Chance U, but, you know, a lot of them are, like, you know, sports is all they got, and in order to be the best at whatever sport they're in, you know, they have to put academics on the back burner a lot of times, because they may be at risk of falling behind those other kids who don't, and they're trying to make it big. They're trying to get the contract, but either they get injured or, you know, or they're just not good enough, you know. The best kids in high school or college, depending on the college, you know, even they're like undrafted free agents in the NFL, or, I mean, the NBA is even more exclusive. Baseball, I mean, shit. Baseball is such a grind. A lot of these kids go to the minors and you know, grind for years and years and years and make pennies, and they just, you know, they don't make it, and then, you know, what are they gonna do? Work in an office like me? I wouldn't wish that on anybody, on my worst enemy. But yeah, I would like to see them get, you know, some form of pay coming back to them for all the entertainment that they provide. I don't think it'll cause any problems for them down the line. We'll have to see how that goes. You know, if it's just approved in California, that's going to force other states to follow suit to become more competitive, or it's gonna going to create the conversation and hopefully get to a better solution. These colleges, they're the same ones who change like a paragraph in a textbook and make you buy a new $200 textbook for your class, because the textbook that somebody who graduated 2 years before you is no longer relevant, so you can't buy it used. So I don't know. These guys are all just, I think it's just another case of people at the top just trying to squeeze everybody who's below them, for every penny they can get out of them for free. It's it's something that's it's something that's pretty prevalent, pretty prevalent business practice. It's kind of the way a lot of I would say capitalism is set up, and it works in a lot of cases, but I don't know, when there's people at the top kind of abusing their power and doing shit like that, I'm all for the kids, for these guys and gals in college sports getting some money back. It's the way the system is now. It's not fair, and I think it should be the same for. Yeah, I'm curious how it compares to like scientific studies and that sort of thing, that a lot of these college students who are on scholarship do. Like, does it avoid their scholarship or eligibility for school or science fairs if they come up with some marketable idea? I don't think so. I think if somebody's working on a school project and they invent a better mousetrap and then they go to sell the mousetrap, do they get their science fair award pulled away? If somebody buys their parents a better house, some company like Amazon wants to buy the better mousetrap and gets their parents a better house, do they lose all credibility? This is a horrible analogy probably, but I don't think so. So just kind of following that same logic, I don't know how we can get a system that we have now. But I guess that's the way it's always been. And the good thing for the NCAA is the people who it really affect, they get cycled out every 4 years. So, they're not around long enough to make a big deal about it. It's almost like a perfect con. But yeah, those are my thoughts on that. I am pro these college athletes getting paid, under contract negotiations and stuff. Trying to be pro player, when it comes to injuries and shit. Same thing, because they're just looking after themselves, and it didn't always used to be that way. I used to kind of see things from like ownership's perspective a little bit more, but after just like more and more instances, it's just like, man, fuck those guys. They're just in it for themselves and their own bottom line. Time and time again, they don't really care about fans or anything else really. the students' well-being, them focusing on academics. They don't give a shit. They're just greedy for their own. They want the new yachts and a G6 that their other billionaire friend has. So yeah, that kind of wraps up my thoughts on that. What else we got? I know Bones Jones has a fight coming up that Mason's trying to get somebody to create a prop sheet for, which, I don't fucking understand. I'm sure he can borrow Anthony's laptop or whatever, because I take it Mason doesn't have a job yet where he's living at. Again, this isn't a shot. This is just kind of reality. You just moved there. You don't know anybody really there yet, so you're not getting chicken dinners with Matt all day or something, serving society that way. So take an hour, create a prop sheet. I'll fill it out, unlike any of you did for my prop, and yeah, we can play for bragging rights. I can win another proposition betting sheet in a sport that I kind of half pay attention to nowadays. Why not? And baseball. Gosh, I feel like I always get to baseball last. Talking Padres, 2 games under 500, probably 1 game now. I'm pretty sure the Padres took down Baltimore today. I said they'd be around 500 at the All-Star break in multiple videos. Yeah, I'm gonna take internet points for that take. And I've been saying don't get too hung up on the wins and losses, and our bullpen sucks and that kind of stuff. That's not the plan right now. The plan right now is to develop the young guys like Paddock, Tatis, Mejia, Mackenzie Gore. There's lots of other guys in A-ball that we should be kind of paying more attention to, and we shouldn't really be eager to bring them up right away. Let these guys get their confidence up in the minors. Bring them up August or something. Get them a little bit of experience going into next season, and next season maybe we'll flirt with a wild card run. Then the year after that is when our expectations should be higher. It should be definitely contending for the wild card, and hopefully a division, because the Dodgers, they're pretty freaking killer this year, but it's not gonna last forever. I don't think they can handle that payroll for too much longer. We'll see. We'll just have to see. But again, kind of like the U.S. men's national team, kind of excited. Even though they're not doing the best, they're taking bigger steps forward than the other teams in the National League West. Just from what I've seen, and just the general excitement around the team. There's a lot of players you can get excited for, and it's been a while. There was that 2015 year when we got Kemp and Shields and Myers and Norris. Was Norris new that year? We were kind of excited, but they didn't really gel well together. Kemp didn't live up to the hype. Shields definitely didn't live up to the hype. And yeah, this one you can tell it's genuine. These guys are gonna be good. They're gonna be around for a while. So hopefully it just keeps going in the right direction. And in the meantime, just like, I don't know, just don't sweat the individual games. Get stoked about the comfort behind wins, like that one in Colorado, or that game against the Dodgers a little earlier this year. Get psyched for that stuff, but don't really sweat the don't sweat the series losses to the Pirates and shit. Like, it's gonna happen. So brace the team for what they are now. I am kind of hoping that we get a representative in the home run derby. That would be pretty rad. I think a home run derby title out of nowhere would be probably the best that we can hope for this season. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping for. We should have that prop soon, and I think they should have the home run derby invitees, participants, whatever they're called. We should have that soon. So looking forward to that as well. But as you can see, I am pulling in. I don't think I got much else on baseball and the Padres. Oh, I did think it was comical that today Danny did bring up, does anybody think that Will Myers is just lazy? And literally I've been saying that for like 3 years. So, and I've said it multiple times, trash, that he should be traded. I squatted on that take pretty early, and it was seemingly ignored, thinking maybe you guys thought I was just trolling. But no, seriously, the guy's fucking lazy. And I wish he was traded. I think Mason can back me on this, because I've talked to him on PUBG a few times. But yeah, thanks Danny. Thanks for reading my takes in the messenger. Really appreciate it. But yeah, that's all I got. Long one today. Hope you enjoyed riding with me home. I guess that's it. Props to Toyota for winning another Le Mans. Yep. Going for the 3-peat next year. We'll see how that goes. So yeah, that's it, guys. Let's get it. See ya.